Okay, so today, we're now on week 4, quarter 3, waves and sound. Okay, before we start, may I request everybody to log in your uh, complete name and as well as your section dyan sa comment box. You have to write your name and your section dyan sa comment box natin. So that will serve as your attendance for our week 4 discussion. And after watching the video, meron akong link na sinend dyan sa GC nyo. Okay? So you can browse. You can download the link to answer our post-assessment examination. So let's start with our discussion. Okay. So let's help Dora find the treasure chest by answering the hidden question in each destination. So there is a magical question, okay, per destination pupuntahan niya. So let's help Dora unlock this mystery question for us, for Dora to get the treasure box. Okay, for the first destination, so we have the Black Forest. What is the mystery question? It is a change in position. What do you call a change in position? So please comment dyan sa ating chat box or comment box. Okay, please comment your answer. Okay, write your name and then the answer for you to be recognized. So it is a change in position. Pag nagbago-bago ng position ng isang object, what do we call that? Okay, let's check your answer. Yes, it is motion. A total, na-reveal tuloy. The total path length traveled by an object is the distance. Okay, next. Tells how fast an object moves. What do you think is the answer? Please comment your answer. Okay. Tells how fast an object moves. What do you think is the answer? Okay, so let's check. It is next question. Okay. So speed of an object with direction. What do you think is the answer here? Please comment your answer. Okay, so we call this word velocity. Next. Okay, so this is a treasure box. Change in velocity is known as, what do you think is the answer? Comment your answer just at the chat box. Comment section. Okay, let's check your answer. Okay, answer dyan is acceleration. Okay. Now, so you can only take the goals in treasure box if you can reveal the mystery word. Okay, so but there are clues. Makukuha lang ni Dora yung gold if she can answer the mystery words by these clues. Let's reveal the clues for the first word. Okay. So this is the picture for the first clue. Okay. This is the second picture. Okay, Okay, and then the third picture is a simulation of earthquake. Okay, so based on these three pictures or short clip, what do you think is the first mystery word? Can you kindly comment your answer? And then let's check if we got the correct answer. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, for the first picture, first mystery word. For the second mystery words, you have the ears. Okay, you have the sounds like this. Okay, so shouting. Okay, what do you think is our second mystery word? So kindly comment your answer. Okay, okay, so let's check if we got the correct answer. So our mystery word for this day is all about are sounds and waves. So these are the mystery words. So since na-reveal ni Dora yung word, so Dora can now get this treasure box. Okay? So let's congratulate Dora for doing, accomplishing her task. Okay? Okay. So for the next, our first objective, we have to infer that the waves carry energy. So at the end of the lesson, we must explain that waves carry energy. Okay? For our number 2 objectives, we have to describe the characteristic of sounds using concept of wavelength, velocity, and amplitude. Okay, so you need to describe the sound, okay, by the concept of the wavelength, the velocity, and the amplitude. So let's talk about now the waves. When we say waves, wave is a disturbance that transfer energy from one place to another. Okay, so again, when we say wave, wave is a disturbance, okay, that transfer. Okay, it is a disturbance to transfer energy from one place to another. Like for example, in this short clip, okay, so ito yung bibe ay nasa bodies of water siya. Sabihin natin nasa or ilog or any bodies of water. Okay? Kung sinabi natin disturbance, okay, para yung molecules ni water, if there is no disturbance, naka-steady lang yung water, hindi siya gagalaw. Kasi wala namang energy na napapagalaw sa kanya. Wala na-disturb ng mga molecules niya. Since there is disturbance, saan galing yung disturbance? It can be, for example, in this short clip, galing yan sa wind. As the wind blows, the molecules or surface of water disturb. So, kapag siya ay nag-disturb, napo-form siya ng waves. So, formation of waves, meaning, kapag merong wave, merong energy na transfer from one place to another. Since wave is a disturbance, okay, that transfer energy from one place to another. So, in this case, since yung molecules ni water ay na-disturb siya, okay, ng air or ng wind, so yung energy coming from the wind will transfer from the water, molecules of the water going to this duct. Kaya si duct nagmo-move siya. Sabihin na transfer from here, yung energy will transfer from the duct. Okay? Going to the other side. So that is how wave produce. Remember that the wave, always remember that the wave is a disturbance that transfer energy from one place to another. I have here another example. When we say disturbance, it is a way wherein it transfer energy from one place to another. So from this clip, okay, which is our disturbance? Okay, without disturbance, as you notice, pag walang disturbance, hindi gagalaw yung bahay at yung puno. Since there is disturbance, so there is the transfer, okay, of energy, the disturbing rocks by the movement of the plates or the movement of the rocks. So since nag-move yung rocks, yung energy will transfer from this position, dyan na-start yung motion, yung tremor, shaking, and then it will send upward. So kaya gumalaw si bahay at si puno. Sabihin, the energy transfer from this disturbance going upward dun sa bahay at si puno. Kaya sila nag-shake. Okay, so yung waves, sabi natin yung waves carries the energy. Yung shake, yung shaking or tremor na na-experience natin during earthquake. Okay, yung waves na na-experience natin, yung shaking na na-experience natin during earthquake, sabihin, no, na-transfer yung energy from within going upward. Kaya nag-move yung puno at nag-move yung bahay. So, every time na nagkakaroon ng earthquake, sabihin, no, the energy coming from the rocks, okay, will transfer upward. Kaya nagkakaroon ng disturbance sa rocks. Okay, so if there's disturbance, will transfer yung energy from one place to another. In this case, yung energy from the rocks, okay, will transfer from this part going upward. So, na-transfer siya dun sa bahay and na-transfer siya dun sa puno. Okay? So, kaya nagkaroon ng movement or motion. Now, how does the wave travel? How does the wave transfer energy? So, what is our answer here? So, it transfers by means of vibration. Okay, when we say vibration, it's oscillating motion around a fixed position. Okay, so we mentioned the word oscillating. Highlight natin. When we say oscillating motion, either the object moves up and down, like yung nangyari dyan sa symbols. Okay? Okay, if you observe dito sa ating short clip, yung symbols, ang movement niya is up and down, up and down. So, it is a repeated motion. Paulit-ulit. So, ang tawag natin doon is oscillating motion. Okay? Around a fixed position. When we say fixed position, hindi gumagalaw. For example, in these symbols. Okay? So, nandyan siya, hindi gumagalaw. Ang gumagalaw is yung mismong pinaka-bilog, which it moves up and down position. So, ang tawag natin dyan is vibration. If the object moves either up and down or back and forth repeatedly, we call that one as vibration. If there is vibration, doon pa lang magkakaroon ng transfer of energy. Doon pa lang makakapag-transfer yung wave ng energy. Without vibration, okay, hindi makakapag-transfer ang wave ng energy. Okay? So here, when we see vibration, another definition is that the motion repeats its path over a period of time. Yung paulit-ulit ng galaw ng object is also called as vibration. Tulad nga ng symbols. Okay? So, kapag na-hit siya, ang movement na is repeated up and down. So, that is an oscillating motion. Either up and down or left to right or back and forth. So, yun ang tinatawag nating vibration. I repeat, if there is no vibration, si waves, hindi siya makakapag-transfer ng energy. Okay, like this one. Okay, so this is the guitar ring. Okay, so what have you noticed? Ano ang motion ng string? Okay, so as you notice, yung string, ito ang position na ng movement niya. Sabihin, the object or the string moves up, down, up, down. So, ulit. So, nag-oscillate siya up and down. So, there is vibration. So, kapag nagkakaroon ng vibration, nagkakaroon na the wave is now ready to transfer energy. So, always remember, if there is no vibration, walang matatransfer na energy si wave. Okay. The third example, during earthquake. So, since nagkaroon ng vibration, nagkaroon ng disturbance, yung ilalim ng lupa. So what happened? So there is vibration, so the energy will now transfer energy inside, okay, and then the transfer niya upward on the surface of the rocks. Okay? So, kaya yung movement na napipil natin, yun yung energy na na-create ng rocks. Yung vibration na na-create ng rocks. Na-transfer yan because the rock vibrates and the wave carries energy to transfer. Okay? So, that is vibration. So, always remember that the wave always transfer energy by means of vibration. So, kapag walang oscillating motion, I repeat, when we say oscillating motion, either the object moves up and down repeatedly or back and forth repeatedly on a fixed position. So, walang wave, walang transfer sa energy, walang transfer na energy sa wave. But, if there is vibration, if there is oscillating motion, so that is the time that the wave can transfer energy. Always remember that the wave transfer energy by means of vibration. Kailangan muna mag-vibrate. Okay? Para ma-transfer ni wave yung energy. Talking about waves, so there are two types of waves. The first type is the wave that requires medium to travel energy from one place to another. So we call that one as mechanical wave. Ano yung mga medium? When we say medium, these are the materials that needed by the wave to travel or to transfer energy from one place to another. Gumagamit siya ng matter, na either solid, liquid, or gas to transfer the energy from one place to another. And there are types of wave. Okay, opposite of your mechanical wave, ang tawag natin is electromagnetic waves. When we say electromagnetic waves, ito naman yung waves that do not requires medium to travel the energy from one place to another. So, hindi siya gagamit ng matter. Okay? This wave alone can transfer energy by itself without using any types of medium. Okay, I repeat. When we say mechanical wave needs medium. Kailangan niya gumamit ng isang bagay. Okay, either solid, liquid, or gas. Okay, so electromagnetic wave is opposite. So, kaya niyang mag-transfer ng energy without using any medium. Okay, so let's talk about the first type of wave. So, that is mechanical wave. Again, when we say mechanical wave, it requires medium to transfer energy from one place to another. So, gumagamit siya ng medium. Okay? Yung medium na yun, it can be solid, liquid, or gas, or matter. Okay? Again, when we say medium, it is a substance that makes possible the transfer of energy from one location to another, especially through waves. Ito yung ginagamit ni wave para ma-transfer niya yung energy from one object to another object or from one position to another position. For example, this one. Okay, so let's identify the medium used in the box. Okay. So, ano yan? So may isang mahawak na rope. Sabi natin kanya, di ba, that waves cannot transfer without vibration. So, the waves cannot transfer energy without vibration. So, saan ang source ng vibration natin? Yes, definitely sa kamay. Ito yung vibration natin. Kapag minove natin yung rope up and down repeatedly in a fixed position, if sinabi natin fixed position, hindi gumagalaw. Okay, the same, ganyan pa rin. Okay? So, kapag nag-exert tayo ng force dyan sa rope, if we're going to wiggle it up and down repeatedly, we can create waves. Kasi the energy from your hand will transfer to the rope. Okay, now, ang tanong, what is the medium use? Anong ginamit ng medium? Remember, kung sinabi natin medium, ito yung materials na ginamit ni wave to transfer the energy. Either The solid, liquid, or gas? So, kindly type your answer here sa comment box. Anong ginamit na medium? Yes, very good. Our medium is the rope. Okay? So, ang ginamit ng medium is rope. Remember, yung rope is solid, a matter. So, ginamit niya para makapag-transfer siya ng energy. Okay, how about this one? Are you familiar with slinky? Yan, ito yung madalas laruin nyo. Okay? So, saan nanggaling ang energy? Okay, so nanggaling yung energy o yung vibration dyan sa kamay. Okay? So, kapag nag-move siya, ginalaw niya from back and forward, balik-balik. Okay? So, nagkakaroon ng na-transfer yung energy from left to right. Okay? So, since minove niya yan, yung energy coming from the hand will transfer from this side. So, what is the medium used in this illustration? Kindly comment your answer. Anong ginamit ng medium to transfer the energy? Anong ginamit? Okay, so our answer is the slinky. The slinky is na itong parang spring na yan. Okay? So, that is the medium. Remember that medium either can be solid, liquid, or gas. Okay, so yung ginagamit ni wave to transfer energy. Okay, so there are types of mechanical waves. So, those mechanical waves, okay, yung rope kanina, ano ang movement ni rope? Up and down, right? So, yung force na yan, sinigil natin yan up and down repeatedly. Okay? Ang example natin siya kanina yung sa rope. Ang tawag natin dyan is transverse wave. Okay? And then, the other part is the slinky. Ang tawag natin dyan is longitudinal wave. And the third example, third type, is the surface. Okay? So, let's talk about the first type. The first type of mechanical wave is transverse wave. Remember, mechanical wave needs medium to travel. So, kailangan gumamit ng solid, liquid, or gas to transfer the energy. So, in this case, what have we noticed? Kapag transverse wave, it is a wave which direction is perpendicular to the direction of the movement of the wave. When we say perpendicular, okay, ang movement niya is up and down. For example, sa rope. Ang movement ng rope is up and down. Repeatedly, ulit-ulit. So, we call that one as transverse wave. Okay? So, when we say perpendicular in math, okay, so it is 90 degrees. Okay, so direction, it is 90 degrees direction of the movement of the wave. So we call that one as transverse. Second, okay, so these are the example of transverse wave. Light, okay, light is an example of transverse wave, wherein it moves perpendicular, up and down. Okay, another example is yung sa, ayan, so ocean waves. As you notice, yung boat or yung what do you call this? What do you call this one? Yes, this one is a boat. Ang movement niya is up and down. Okay? So, because the water wave is an example of transverse wave. Another example. Yan. Another example is yung sa guitar string. Ang movement ng guitar string is up and down. Transverse wave. Now, there are different parts of transverse wave. So, let's start with the first part. Crest. Okay? So, this part is the crest, or sometimes we call it as peak. When we say crest, it is the highest point of the wave. Siya yung pinakatuktok ng wave. So, ang tawag natin dyan is the crest. We have the wavelength. Okay, when we say wavelength, it is distance from crest to crest. So, yung distance from crest to crest is the wavelength. or trough to trough, or throw to throw. Okay, distance between crest to crest and throw to throw. Okay, ang tawag natin dyan is wavelength. Okay, so wavelength has a symbol of this one. Okay, pag nakita kayo ng ganyan, ang tawag natin dyan is wavelength. This symbol is called as lambda. Okay, so lambda is the symbol for the wavelength. Again, sinabi natin wavelength, distance between crest to crest or throw to throw. Okay. Next is the amplitude. When we say the amplitude, it is the height of the wave, starting from the origin. Kung saan siya start. So from this point upwards, so ang tawag natin dyan is the amplitude, yung height ng waves. Okay? So from the origin going downward, so it is also an amplitude. Okay? So that is the height, yung taas ng wave is. Next, if we have crest, which is the highest peak or highest point, we have also the lowest point. So, throw is the lowest point of the wave. Okay? So, yung pinaka-mababa. If the crest is the highest point, throw, siya yung pinaka-mababang point ni wave. And remember, one complete wave, kailangan, how can we know if isang complete wave yon, disturbance yon? Okay, if there is a presence of crest and the presence of throw. Okay, in this case, so we have one pulse and another one is two. So meron tayong dalawang complete na waves. Okay, so yun natin malalaman if it's complete wave or not. Again, kapag complete wave, kailangan meron siyang crest and trough. So, this one is mula sa origin, since kailangan natin crest and trough. So, this is our wave 1, complete wave. Okay. Okay, so let's answer this one. So, which of the two waves carries more energy? So, our answer is letter B. Okay, bakit kaya? Okay, in waves, the more na mataas, mataas ang amplitude, ibig sabihin, mas malaki yung energy na dala-dala niya. Mas malaki yung energy na nai-transfer niya. For example, okay, we're going to compare kung sino mas malaking energy ang na-transfer niya. Ito ba si A or si letter B? So, our answer is letter B. Bakit? Kasi, sabi nga natin, in waves, the more na mataas ang amplitude, it means it has more energy to transfer. Okay? Yung mga tsunami. Okay? So, di ba, sa experience natin in eruptions of may volcano, di ba, na parang nawala yung tubig doon sa lawa. So, hindi magandang pangitain yung nawawala yung or bumaba yung tubig. Kasi nga, ibig sabihin nun, mas malaking energy or mas malaking wave yung ini-expect natin na magkakaroon. So, ibig sabihin nun, if malaki yung wave, malaki yung amplitude niya, mas malaki or mas mataas yung energy na dala niya. So, if malakas yung energy na dala niya, sabihin nun, total destruction yung pwede natin ma-experience during the transformation or during the transfer of energy from one phase to another. So, in this case, sa letter B yung mas malaki ang energy. Okay? Kasi nga, mas mataas na kanyang amplitude. Next, which of the two wave has higher amplitude? Is A or B? Okay, so nasabi ko na kanina. Our answer is letter B. Okay? So, mas mataas ang amplitude ni B compared kay A. So, always remember, sa waves, kapag mas mataas ang amplitude, mas malaki or mas higher yung energy na kaya niyang i-transfer. Okay? Which has a shortest wavelength? Is it A or B? Okay, our answer is A. Okay, in this case, kapag shortest ang wavelength, ibig sabihin nun, mataas ang energy. Kapag parang dikit-dikit na. So, ito yung wavelength niya. Medyo dikit-dikit na siya. Ibig sabihin, the shortest the wavelength, the higher the energy. Okay, for number 2, which of the two has the highest energy? Sige, kindly type your answer. Which of the two has the highest energy? Is it A or B? Our answer is A. Sabi ko nga kanina, if the wavelength is shorter, okay, kapag mas maiksi yung wavelength, ibig sabihin mas mataas yung energy. Okay, next. Which of the two has highest frequency? Is it A or B? Please comment your answer. Okay, let's review our answer. Okay, sabihin, our answer for this question is A. So, si A pa din yung mataas ang frequency. Always remember, in wave, the shortest the wavelength, the higher the energy, the higher the frequency. Okay, Tagalog, kapag maiksi yung wavelength, the wave, ibig sabihin nun, mataas ang energy, mataas ang frequency. And the other way around, okay, for letter B, since yung wavelength is mas mahaba, ibig sabihin nun, the longer the wavelength, mas mababa yung energy, mababa din si frequency. Kasi si wavelength is inversely proportional with the what do you call this? The frequency is inversely proportional with the wavelength. Kapag si wavelength ay shortest, highest naman si frequency. Okay? Pag si wavelength ay mahaba or longer, lower naman ang frequency, lower din ang energy. Again, kapag ang wavelength is shortest, sabihin masyadong dikit-dikit, ibig sabihin po, mataas ang energy na dala-dala ni wave. Since mataas ang energy, of course, sabihin yan, mataas din ang kanyang frequency. Now, on the other way around, kapag ang wavelength is longer, okay, ibig sabihin po kapag longer ang wavelength, mas mababa ang energy. Of course, since mababa si energy, mababa din si frequency. That is the reason why, sabi natin kanina, okay, which of the two has shortest wavelength? Ang shortest wavelength natin ay si A. Okay? Kapag shortest ang wavelength, ibig sabihin yan, mas mataas ang energy. Kung mataas ang energy, mataas din ang frequency. If the wavelength is shortest. Now, if the wavelength is longer, mahaba yung wavelength, sabihin po nun, mababa si energy, mababa rin si frequency. So, those are the things that you have to remember. Okay? Now, let's move forward to the second types of wave. The second type is a longitudinal wave. Kanina, in transverse wave, the movement is perpendicular. Pag sinabi natin perpendicular, up, down lang. Now, in longitudinal wave, sometimes longitudinal wave is also called as the pressure waves. So, this wave, okay, waves which direction is parallel to the direction of the movement of the wave. So, kung sabi natin parallel, left, right, back and forth lang ang movement ng wave. Kaya ang direction niya is going here, going to the left, going to the right. So, back and forth. So, we call this one as longitudinal wave. So, the movement of the wave is parallel to the direction of the movement of the wave. Now, okay? So, there are examples of longitudinal waves. So, such as the sounds. The sound wave. Sound wave is an example of longitudinal wave. So, ang movement ng sound is back and forth. Same thing with the earthquake. Okay, so earthquake can be transverse or it can be longitudinal. In this case, ang movement lang niya, since back and forth, left and right lang siya, it is a longitudinal type of wave. Ultrasound also is an example of longitudinal waves. Kasi ang movement niya is left and right. Okay? Kubalik-balik lang. So, that's why it is an example of longitudinal wave. Always remember, pag sinabi natin longitudinal wave, ang movement niyan is, lagi is left and right or left, or back and forth. Okay? So, that is longitudinal wave. Okay, so there are different parts of longitudinal wave. For example, sa slinky, as you notice, may mga part na nagko-compress, na didikit-dikit. Okay, yan, didikit-dikit. And may mga parts na naghihiwa-hiwalay. So we call this one, the first part is known as compression. Okay, in this short clip, yung mga parts, yung region na dikit-dikit, we call this one as compression. When we say compression, it is a region where longitudinal wave, okay, are closest together. So, isabihin nyo, compression, high pressure. Okay, kapag merong compression dyan sa waves, ang ibig sabihin, it has a high pressure. Mataas yung pressure niya. But, on the opposite around, if there is rarefaction, okay, sa waves, okay, yung refraction naman, yung hiwa-hiwalay na side or region, sabihin naman nun is low pressure. Okay, remember, kapag ang region in longitudinal wave, kapag dikit-dikit yung kanyang particles, okay, ang tawag natin dyan is compression, which is indication of high pressure. Kapag naman, naghiwa-hiwalay yung mga particles in longitudinal wave, ang tawag natin dyan is rarefaction. Okay, in rarefaction, there is a lower pressure. Now, in getting the wavelength for the longitudinal wave, we have to measure the distance between compressions. Kung kayo nyo sa transverse wave, for us to get the wavelength, kailangan makuha natin yung distance from crest to crest or throat to throat. In longitudinal wave, for you to get the wavelength, you have to get the distance between two compressions. Like for example, this is compression 1, yung dikit-dikit, and then this is compression 2. So the distance between the two compressions, ang tawag natin doon is the wavelength. Ganyan. Iba yung wavelength ni transverse. In case of transverse wave, we have, for us to get the wavelength, we have to measure the distance between two crests or the two throat. But in longitudinal wave, we have to get the distance between two compressions. Yung dikit-dikit na part ng longitudinal wave. So, if we get the distance between two compression, diyan pala natin makukuha ang kanyang wavelength. Okay. So, there is the third type. So, the third type is the surface wave. When we say surface wave, it is a wave in which particles of the medium undergo circular motion. So, surface wave are neither longitudinal, pause, or transverse. Actually, surface waves is combination of transverse and longitudinal waves. So, when we say transverse wave, these are the waves that travels on the surface of the earth. For example, yung water waves. Okay, so yung water waves, it create a circular motion. Circular motion because si surface wave is the combination of transverse and longitudinal. Same thing with the earthquake. So in earthquakes, meron tayo, aside from transverse motion and longitudinal motion, meron din tinatawag tayo na surface wave, wherein ang movement ng rocks ay paikot, pa-circular. Okay? So that's why it's called a surface waves. Now, we're done with mechanical wave. Sabi nga natin kanina, mechanical wave requires medium to travel. In electromagnetic wave, it's opposite. Sa electromagnetic wave, hindi niya kailangan gumamit ng any type of medium. Okay? Hindi niya kailangan gumamit ng solid, ng liquid, or gas. Kaya niya mag-transfer ng energy without requiring any medium to travel. So, such as radio, microwave, infrared, visible, ultraviolet, X-rays, and gamma rays. So, these 7 are the examples of electromagnetic waves. Based on our spectrum, naka-arrange siya from longest wavelength to the shortest wavelength. So, sabi natin kanina, if the wavelength is longer, ibig sabihin po, low ang energy, low ang frequency. Okay? If the wavelength is shorter, mas maiksi yung wavelength, ibig sabihin, high ang energy, high in frequency. So, in our electromagnetic spectrum, okay, gamma, since gamma has a shortest wavelength, therefore gamma has a high energy and high frequency. So, followed by gamma, susunod na malakas ang energy and frequency is the X-ray. So, pinakamahaba ang wavelength is the radio. So, the radio has a low energy and low frequency. Okay? So, always remember the relationship of the wavelength, energy, and frequency. As I said again, if the wavelength is shortest, ibig sabihin, high energy, high frequency. If the wavelength is longer, okay, if you have a long wavelength, ibig sabihin, you have a low energy and a low frequency. So those waves do not require any medium to travel. Hindi gumagamit ng matter like solid, liquid, and gas. We call that one as electromagnetic wave. Okay, so meron lang tayong 7. Always remember or memorize the 7 electromagnetic wave from our spectrum. Okay, si gamma, X-ray, ultraviolet, visible, infrared, microwave, and radio. Okay, so those are examples of electromagnetic wave. Again, electromagnetic wave do not require any medium to travel. Hindi niya kailangan gumamit ng matter to transfer the energy from one place to another because this wave alone, kaya niya mag-transfer ng energy. Okay? So, ang tawag sa kanya ay electromagnetic waves. Now, so let's identify what is being asked in each number. Okay? So, I want you to get one notebook or pad paper. I will give you a minute to answer, 1 minute to answer one number. Okay? So, anong gagawin? Let's identify what is being asked. You have to arrange this jumbled letter for you to reveal the correct answer. For number 1, okay, the material through which wave travels. So, what is that? Materials. Okay. Number 2, where the points in a wave move perpendicular up and down to the direction and the movement of the wave. So what is our answer for number 2? For number 3, waves that requires medium to propagate. Okay, alin dyan ang nangangailangan? So ano yung tawag dun sa waves na gumagamit ng medium such as solid, liquid, or gas to transfer energy? Number 4, disturbance that transfer energy from one place to another. So what do you call that disturbance? Number 5, a points in a wave that move parallel to the directions of the movement of the wave. So what is the wave that moves back and forth or left and right? Ang tawag natin doon. Okay? So, kapag nasagutan na at na-checkan na, okay, screenshot sa akin yung score, isend sa GC. Okay? So, yung mga hindi nakapag-send ng answer sa GC means hindi kayo umattend ng recorded discussion natin. So, sagutan yan sa notebook or pad paper and then ilagay quiz. Okay? Then, screenshot, send sa GC. Oh, sorry. Okay, for number 1, you have medium. Okay, write the correct answer. So, medium is the materials through which wave travels. I repeat, medium can be solid, liquid, or gas. Number 2, our answer is okay, transverse wave. For number 3, transverse wave because the movement of the wave is perpendicular. Always remember the term perpendicular. Pag sabi natin perpendicular, the movement is always up and down. For number 3, the waves that requires medium to travel. Okay, so what is our answer? Okay, our answer is mechanical wave. Number 4, disturbance that transfer energy from one place to another. We call this one as wave. For number 5, a longitudinal wave. Okay, the term is longitudinal waves kasi ang movement niyan ay parallel. When we say parallel to the direction of wave, the movement is back and forth or left and right. Okay, for number 6 to 10, I will give you 5 minutes or 3 minutes to answer. Okay, so for number 6, waves that do not require medium to propagate or to transfer. So, yung hindi na kailangan ng medium such as solid, liquid, or gas to transfer the energy. What do you call that waves? Okay, so that is electromagnetic waves. Okay, next. A region in a longitudinal wave where particles are closest together. Kapag dikit-dikit yung particles sa longitudinal wave, ang tawag natin doon. So, we call that one as compression. Number 8, a region in a longitudinal wave where the particles are farthest apart. Okay, hiwa-hiwalay naman. Ang tawag natin dyan ay rarefaction. For number 9, it is the highest point of the wave. It is the crest. The lowest point of the wave. Okay, that is trough. Okay. For our next exam or assessment, we're going to identify the letters. Anong parts ng wave yan? Okay, sige, I will give you 3 minutes to answer. Then we're going to check afterwards. Okay, so let's check your answer. For letter A, what is letter A? It is crest. For letter B, okay, that is wavelength. For letter C, it is the amplitude or the height of the wave. And for letter D, that is trough. Okay, so that is, okay, count the score. So that will be 14 over 14. So plus 1. So that will be 15. Okay. So it's you're going to send the your what do you call this, the your answer sa GC. Okay? So yung di makapag-send, ibig sabihin hindi kayo umattend ng recorded session. Okay? I-send sa akin yung score na may check na. Okay. So let's move now with part 2. Okay? So we're done with the next.